Hello, my name is Sarah Riggleman. Today's date is December the 7th, 2025. My chosen mode of transportation today is airlines, with the regulations focus of FAA, Federal Aviation Regulations. This is for course LOG 229, Transportation Logistics. My chosen mode is airlines, particularly focusing on FAA, Federal Aviation Regulations. These rules require airlines to maintain strict pilot training, aircraft maintenance, and cargo handling standards. According to the FAA, Part 121 outlines operating requirements for commercial carriers. I chose this regulation because it highlights how safety is the foundation of airline operations. So from my research, I have learned that safety rules not only protect passengers, but also ensure compliance and efficiency in the transportation industry. Why I chose this regulation. Airlines carry millions of passengers every year, putting lives in danger, so there has to be specific regulations put in place to keep everyone safe. Airlines are one of the most safety-critical modes of transportation, particularly because they're in the air. FAA rules ensure passenger and crew safety. Everyone's lives are just equally important. Personal interest is it connects logistics to compliance studies. Logistics works by land, air, sea, rail, pipeline, you name it. Logistics ties it all together. Air transportation connects countries and economies, so that's a wide variety of all across the world. Air transportation from country to country, getting supplies and products to and from. FAA regulations ensure every flight meets strict safety standards and protecting lives. These are just a few that are listed. You can also refer to the link that I have shared at www.faa.gov that lists many more points and critical idea of why the FAA has set these regulations as policies. So the Federal Aviation Administration oversees airline operations in the United States. FARS cover pilot certification, crew training, aircraft maintenance, and flight operations. This is part of the recertification, certification, just everything that needs to be kept up with. That's going to be covered by the FARS. As far as the international standards, IATA, dangerous goods regulations for hazardous cargo. So there's some ongoing important and crucial things that go into the dangerous goods and how those are handled as far as cargo when they are on an airline. So some safety rules and effects. So pilot training is a regular certification, and retraining is definitely required to keep that certification compliant. Cargo handling, hazardous materials must follow the FAA and the IATA rules on the specifics of how those are to be handled when they are in the air and going from place to place and from airport to airport or wherever they may be flying into or out of. Aircraft maintenance is very important. Strict inspection schedules reduce accident risk, so I'm sure those are probably scheduled probably monthly, yearly. I'm not really for sure. I didn't really get into that much, but I'm sure there's a lot out there on that as well. Cabin safety for OSHA. OSHA is a very well-known, it's basically the safety and health administration that sets the standards for protect flight attendants, the employees that would be on the flights traveling to and from as well. So a little bit of reflection coming from this slide is how I learned how safety rules shape every aspect of airline operation. Regulations protect passengers, crew, and cargo. And from a personal perspective, every flight that I have been on was backed by thousands of rules designed to protect passengers and crew. So that kind of opened my eyes to every flight that I've ever been on. There's been a set of standards, there's been a set of policies, there's been a set of just rules that have gone behind that flight that I've taken off on. So many things that were behind the scenes to make that flight happen and make sure it was in compliance with all of the policies. Connects directly to transportation detail, compliance, efficiency, and safety principles. And learning about hazardous materials regulations made me appreciate the planning required for shipping items like batteries or chemicals by air. So there has to be a plan in place when we're shipping things like this, because once they're in the air, there's not a whole lot of control. So getting that plan in place before those things arrive wherever they're going is always a good idea. And the research showed me that it's very valuable to have regulatory knowledge in the career for transportation and logistics, just for things like this. For instance, the hazardous materials, the passengers, the crew, the cargo, everything is an important aspect of the flight. So making sure that all of those things and all of the knowledge is there is very important in the airline industry. Impacts on airline operations. So airlines must maintain compliance to keep certification. Safety rules increase costs but also ensure reliability and trust. And regulations affect scheduling, staffing, and cargo planning. So everything that goes into the flight has to be checked out before they can just take off. Many safety checks and many different checks just across the board have to take place before things can just be thrown on an aircraft and lifted off the ground to go wherever they're going. More information can be found at www.ecfr.gov, and also more on the OSHA website, which is www.osha.gov. Thank you for taking the time to view my video today.